Hi, and welcome to Introvertebrates. This video is all about maintenance of vivariums. If you have looked at some of my videos, you probably noticed that I enjoy having live plants in my vivariums. And of course, with them growing, and especially the ones I keep in fairly humid conditions, and I have a lot of lights for them, they grow like crazy, and of course that comes with some maintenance. So from time to time I'll go into a vivarium and I'll try to kind of trim those plants a little bit, clean it up a little bit to look at it so I can see better and whatnot. Unfortunately, in this video I was recording it and I ran into a plethora of issues. Some of the video I took is basically unusable, and a lot of the audio you will hear is not the best quality. I think like you should be able to hear me perfectly fine, but I do try to have better audio in general, so I apologize for the audio quality in some of these clips. But I hope it will be an enjoyable experience, and I might make a little videos here and there just to explain what's going on. As I said, some of the footage was lost or I couldn't use, so some of the time I will come in kind of out of context. So I'll just cut myself in there. You'll see. It'll probably, hopefully, it will be smooth, you know. So yeah, hope you enjoy the video, and thanks so much for watching. So first up is my Psalmopeus irminia. I made a video about her too, so feel free to check that one out. And yeah, I'm gonna do some cutting in this one. Alright, so what we're gonna do is just kind of look this plant. As you can tell, it's pretty big, so I'm gonna cut it a little bit, just in the top here. Just because it's getting a little bit wild and doesn't look so appealing anymore. Doesn't matter if some of it gets in on the ground. There are plenty of isopods, springtails in here, so I'm sure they would appreciate a little bit extra food here. And as I like to do when I cut off something from a plant, try to see if I can plant this as well. So we got some good cutoffs here, so hopefully this is something I can actually use and plant, and in that way I have more plants, because since I'm such a big fan of the natural plants, it gets expensive if I'm gonna buy new plants every time, so I try to grow my own as much as possible. And if you saw my collection tour video, I did show you guys a little like plant nursery that I got going. So if I can get these plants growing in there, that'd be great. But yeah, I think that's good actually. Now it's not like pressing up against the top here, and maybe I'll move it down a little bit, but you see the webbing is attached to it. I'm sure that's fine. Of course, maybe Clara behind there, she might be stressing out a little bit about that. I don't know, but I think she'll be okay. So here, it's next door to Clara, and in here is my Omothymus violaceopes. Also needs some maintenance. So let's just open this up, put it somewhere safe so it doesn't break. If you did watch that video, you heard the story about me accidentally breaking her glass door. She was in a vivarium like this one on the side here, and accidentally broke it. And then she got an upgrade. But as I talked about in that video, she was due for an upgrade anyway, so it didn't really matter. It it's a bit stressful, of course. But yeah, I'm gonna do some trimmings in here too. These plants are great. They grow like crazy. And they grew taller than I thought they would. I thought they would be more on the ground here, but they actually grow straight up, as you can tell. So they kind of overtook this vivarium, and she's in there. She has a burrow that goes pretty far down, and then she's kind of built it up like this, webbed it all over. But yeah, not too much maintenance needed in that vivarium. And next door to this vivarium is my Cyriopagopus species hati. Yeah. This one also will need a bigger vivarium soon. It's fine in there at the moment, but after 1 or 2 molts, it's going to be cramped in there. But as you can see, it's quite the little jungle in here, a lot of grass. So I will just do this, just cut a little bit of grass and just take it out, because I planted a bunch of grass seeds in here when I set up the vivarium, and as you can tell, it worked out really well, because this grass is growing everywhere, and it's kind of cool. Nothing else is growing in here for the most part. There's a little bit of greenery you see here, but for the most part, it's the grass that took over completely. And the spider made this awesome web tunnel, and it is similar in how it behaves and also the conditions as the Omothymus violaceopes. They do need high humidity, they web a lot, and they are arboreal. However, as younger individuals, they often stay on the ground, they dig, make web tunnels. So you can see this is pretty similar to what the Omothymus violaceopes had. And this next one is my Theraphosa apophysis, also known as Susie. And this is probably the vivarium I have to do the most maintenance in. And as you'll see at the beginning of the video, I will feed her first, and I will get into why that is in the clip. So there she goes. I know it's brutal, but wow, you gotta be impressed by that spider. Such a large spider, so strong and so hungry. All right, well, now now Susie's feeding, so hopefully I'll be able to do some maintenance undisturbed. So let's cut some of this jungle out of there. So this is a pretty big food item, but you never know with one. On a hungry one, and can't be too careful. But since such a big roach, I think she'd be okay. And she's pretty calm actually when it comes to, as long as she's not hungry. She's not a very grumpy spider. Let's see if we can sneak that leaf out of there without her being one good angle too. Oh, hello. Yeah, I see you there. It's good. Taking some of your stuff. So sometimes, you know, I don't know if you have ever kept this species or a Theraphosa blondie or a Theraphosa sturmii. These guys are really they respond really well to food and are usually very hungry. So you gotta watch out for that. It's not like they're the most venomous. They got some massive fangs on them though. So just because of that, you don't want to get bit by this. I mean, you don't want to get bit in general. Yeah, I'm sorry, baby. You little cranky, huh? I'm messing with your stuff. But yeah, just can tell it's been growing in pretty wildly, and she's not super stoked about it. me messing with her personal space, which is fair, I guess, because I mean this is her safe space, and here I am tearing stuff apart. But since she is feeding and she's not letting go of that roach, it'll still be okay. If I didn't feed her first, I mean that would be a show, but I'm not gonna just do that. Let's be real. That's not kind of good. Yeah, 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 I know, I know. I'm just doing some maintenance here, you know. I've done this many times before. Yeah, I'm not always stoked about it, but wow, look at her. See, now we can see you, Susie, which is much better. Well, I don't think you care, but there she is. She is by far my largest spider, and as long as I don't get another Theraphosa, she will always be my largest spider. And this spider can grow fairly old. It can be grow up to like 25, maybe 30 years old. Got Susie as a sub-adult quite a few years ago. I think at least 2 years ago now. But yeah, and this plant is a great plant for drawing vivariums because it grows like crazy, but it's also the worst thing about this that it grows like crazy and it takes over. And yeah, it's if you are just keeping this plant in a vivarium, I'm sure that will be fine. But I'm trying to keep a plethora of different species of plants, and this plant is taking over completely. So I keep having to do maintenance, which is fine. And I mean, all of this came from one single plant that I had, and I've had for years, and I just kind of just cut off a leaf like this, and since then I just grew new ones. I mean, you can keep growing these ones, so that's why they're so perfect for it. Uh, so if you don't mind doing some maintenance here and there and doing cutting out a little bit, it's great. And they grow these like long. It's like a vine, you know, like it's so crazy. And they stick out these long roots, and they come up from. You might have noticed I cut some of them out. Like these are roots. They just come down from up high and into the soil, and it is a very efficient plant when it comes to acquiring nutrition. But yeah, I need to cut some of it out from time to time. So here we are at the side of the vivarium. I cut more out. Susie, I'm just always have to keep an eye on Susie. As you can tell, she's coming out. She's trying to I don't know if she's mad, I don't know if she's hungry, but gotta always watch out for her when doing maintenance. And of course she can feel all this with the setae on her body, but also she webbed up everything. I'm also gonna try to trim some of these other plants. So here we got some monstera. These ones too grow like crazy. Very easy to grow, very easy to replant. Here's this plant, which is also a very efficient plant. It's kind of a lot of fun to see all this plant growth and just noticing how it changes. Of course, since it's a confined space, it just gets overgrown after a while. You have to trim it. But it's still very fascinating to me to watch how it takes over, and
And if you've ever gone to an old abandoned building, you'll see the same, like nature will take over completely if it gets the chance. Just try to get it looking a little more clean, and also so I can it's easier to watch my spider. I do love having as much natural life as possible in the vivarium, but when it takes over this much, it's hard to see the spider. And I don't know if you can tell, but she is right there, right next to me, just chilling, just eating her roach. Not too worried about it, as long as you keep one eye on her. She's a good girl. She doesn't mess with me, I don't mess with her. It's usually no issue. I never had an issue doing maintenance, but sometimes she will absolutely come after me, and that's why I feed her first now, every time, because I don't want to have to deal with that. And she moved into her burrow, which is nice, because yeah, she's doing her spinneret thing. Don't kick hairs at me, come on. Actually, yeah. Okay, I'll leave those alone. She does kick hairs. She actually never kicked hairs. That's the first time I saw it. Yeah, her fangs are busy, so normally she shows me her fangs, and this time her fangs are busy. She's like, okay, well, I got these eradicating setae to kick at you, so don't you worry, I'll get you somehow. But yeah, and this spider, if you didn't know, they have some pretty brutal setae. When they kick them at you, they're not great. But yeah, she's not a big hair kicker. This individual, I mean, the species I've heard is crazy. I mean, they kick so much hair, and people I've heard about, they developed allergies and everything from this spider. I haven't. I've kept a lot of New World species. I have definitely got hair kicked at me many times. I've messed up and used soil from some of these hair kickers. Um, Used their soil and ended up getting blisters all over my hands because I forgot to use gloves, which is really dumb because if you have one of these spiders and you want to reuse some of their soil, I can almost guarantee you there's going to be some urticating setae in the soil, and if you don't use gloves using that, you're going to get some really itchy blisters all over your hands. I don't want to do too much more. I mean, again, I do love this jungle look. This tarantula is from the jungle, that's where they live. So the jungle is a bit chaotic. It looks chaotic. It looks like everything's growing on top of each other. So I'm not gonna do much more here. I'm just gonna let it grow. But again, I was talking about earlier, some of the plants will take over, and I don't want one species of plant. I want many. I want them all to be thriving, and when one plant is more successful than another, it will take over. So trying to make that not happen. So yeah. Well, we're gonna move over to the next one.
And upstairs to Susie's enclosure is my Psyttala horrida colony. This is probably the vivarium with the second most maintenance needed.
Alright, so here you see another sort of overgrown place. This is my Psyttala horrida enclosure, and Psyttala horrida is my assassin bugs. I have a video about those two if you're curious and want to learn more about my assassin bugs. And Psyttala horrida, also known as the horrid king assassin bug. It's the largest assassin bug in the world. And a lot of people, and talked about this in the video too, but a lot of people keep them dry, but from my research, they come from a fairly humid place. So I generally keep mine more humid than dry. I keep parts of the vivarium dry, but then other parts keep fairly humid. And I mean, look at the size of these leaves. These are the same ones you saw in Susie's vivarium. See here compared to the sisters in hand. Massive leaves in this vivarium. It is crazy in here. And sadly, this plant looks to have died, and I suspect it's because this plant is taking over, and I haven't been on top of my maintenance, you can tell. It grew too much, took out all the water and the nutrients from the soil. It died. I mean, I haven't given up completely, but chances of it coming back is very slim. And I'm just looking at the leaves here a little bit, because since these are assassin bugs and they live in a colony, there's many of them living in here, and I don't want to bring any nymphs on this that I'm bringing out, especially nymphs. I mean, these are so big that they can easily hold an adult. So when I'm cutting them out, I'm just looking them over, see that there's no assassin bugs on them, none under the leaves. Yeah, just try to open up this vivarium a little bit. Here we see I have a monstera. It's this one. These ones, I'm not such a huge nerd when it comes to plants. I mean, since I love plants in my vivariums, I'm developing more of a green thumb, but I haven't really gotten into the names of the plants yet. So I just enjoy them. I just enjoy watching the plants and seeing how they grow. I've gotten into their names. I'll try to find their names and post them here. So hopefully by the time I post the video, you'll see names of the plants written down, both the Latin names and their common names. Yeah, you can tell. See some assassin bugs running left and right. Poor guys. Yeah, might feed these guys a little bit too. Just drop them in there. It's probably not gonna be. You're probably not gonna see much. Planting one of these in here, and accidentally pulled it out right now, so I'm gonna try to put that back in the soil here. But yeah, these are the assassin bugs, and again, by far the largest leaves in my hobby room grows in here. Just monstrosities, and look at the thickness of these, like kind of like vines, you know, crazy growing. And these monstera ones that are growing more like in coils. They said they grow like crazy too, but not as much as these ones. I think they're called well, actually I can't remember. Honestly, I'm so sorry, I can't remember what they're called, but I'll definitely look up the names and try to post it here so you get to see.
Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This was a quite different video. I haven't tried this kind of video before, so please let me know what you think about it. And don't forget to check out my Instagram. I know I'm not posting as regular as I used to. It's been busy, so hopefully you'll forgive me for that. But I try to keep on top of it. But yeah, you know, life happens. So sometimes I don't post as frequently, and when things are calmer, I will post more frequently. Either way, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Bye.